Hello everybody, I've got a lovely story for you today, and it's called A Book for Bramble by Lynne, Garner and Gaby Hansen, and it's published by Piccadilly. And the story is really good. It might relate to what's going on right now, because Teasel's friend Bramble has to hibernate, and Teasel is really sad and lonely for his friend because he can't share all the fun things that are happening during winter. So what he decides to do is to let Bramble know all about winter. He decides to write him a book of all the great things that happen. So isn't that a great idea? So maybe you could do that for somebody. You could tell them all about the things that you're doing while you're away from each other. Maybe draw them some pictures, write them a story. You could even, and then maybe keep a little book for them and then give it to them when we're all back to normal. What do you think? Okay, hope you're all having a nice time in the beautiful sunshine. It's great, isn't it? Okay, I'll read the story now. A Book for Bramble. A Book for Bramble. The lovely autumn leaves. The leaves had turned golden yellow, rusty red, and lay thick on the ground. Winter's coming. Time to hibernate, said Bramble. I'll miss you, said Teasel. I'll miss you too, replied Bramble, hugging his friend. Teasel watched as Bramble and the rest of his family crept to their nest under the upside-down wheelbarrow. At supper time that evening, Teasel rolled his roasted hazelnuts and chestnuts around his plate. You're missing Bramble, aren't you? Asked his mother. Teasel nodded sadly. After supper, Teasel was bored. Why don't you draw a picture? Suggested his mother. I know, I'll draw one for Bramble, said Teasel. And I'll write to him. And I'll, too, telling him all about winter. I'll make a book for Bramble. Teasel fetched his pencils and a large sketchbook and sat by the roaring fire. What a lovely idea. Teasel wrote, A Book for Bramble, in big letters, and began. Dear Bramble, I'm going to tell you what's happening while you're asleep. Then we can share winter when you wake up. And I will write every day. Teasel drew a picture of the upside-down wheelbarrow where Bramble was now sleeping. When he had finished, he closed the book and hid it under his pillow. There it is, under his pillow. The days rolled by and Teasel still missed his friend. At the winter feast there were lots of delicious things, nuts, pumpkin pie, and warm blackcurrant squash. If only Bramble was here, thought Teasel. Wow, doesn't that look like a lovely bonfire and picnic? And they've got music, dancing. Teasel sat by the pond, hoping the noise of the party would wake his friend. As he dipped his tail into the cold water and watched the ripples, Mrs. Squirrel came over. Teasel, come and join in the games. But I want Bramble to be here. He's my best friend, said Teasel. I know, dear, but you can share the fun with him in your book. Teasel was very tired after the party, but he had lots to write in Bramble's book that day. We made a bonfire. The flames were red and yellow and warmed our cold noses. Look at him writing the book. Mrs. Squirrel hid nuts, which we had to find. It was so much fun. I wish you'd been there. The weather grew colder and colder. One day Teasel found the puddles in the path had turned to ice. Come skating with us, called his brother Sedge. That night Teasel wrote, We tied walnut shells on our feet and skated all day. I kept slipping over, but I got better by the end. That looks like a fun thing to do. The days became colder still. When Teasel looked out of the window one morning, everything seemed to be covered in a thick white blanket. Who loves snow? Don't we all? Oh, it's snowing, he shouted, running into the kitchen. We know, said his sister Meadow. We're going to play in the snow after breakfast. Oh, they're having their nice hot porridge to keep them nice and cosy. Oh, wow. look at all the snow. Bramble would love this, said Teasel as he gathered another pawful of snow. I do miss him. I know. Let's make a snow hedgehog in his honour, said Sedge. Look at the snow hedgehog. Isn't that brilliant? That night, Teasel drew a picture of the snow hedgehog for Bramble and wrote, "It was huge. I wish you could have seen it. When we finished, we had a snowball fight. Then Sedge broke off some icicles and we had ice lollies." Isn't he lovely to do that for his friend? Teasel was having lots and lots of fun that winter, but still he missed Bramble. Oh, he's looking a bit sad there. Gradually, spring came. Flowers poked through the earth and the sun grew stronger. Teasel knew that Bramble would soon wake up, and he took a basket of nuts with him when he went to the wheelbarrow. Bramble would be hungry after his long sleep. Oh, look! Then at last Teasel heard shuffling coming from the wheelbarrow. One by one, Bramble's family crept out into the sunlight. Oh, look at them! It's fantastic. They're back. Finally, Bramble emerged, yawning and stretching. Bramble! Bramble! Teasel shouted, running to greet his friend. I missed you. I missed you too, said Bramble. I know I did because I dreamed about you. I made a book for you so that we could share winter, said Teasel. Do you want to see it? Oh, yes. I've always wanted to know what winter was like, said Bramble. Oh, isn't that nice? And the two friends sat by the pond together as Bramble began to read. Dear Bramble. Oh, look, they're reading the lovely book he made and having a lovely picnic. He's going to share all the winter stories with them. The end. Oh, and there's some beautiful cowslips. Okay, thanks for joining me. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.